This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation, Pop Experience. Welcome back to another episode of Pop Goes to the Couch. I'm James Gruenberg alongside J. Arsenio D'Amato and Greg Diener. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Very good. I guess Greg wanted the age first, or
yeah.
I was being polite. I was being polite too, but no, it's all good. Episode 5, so we're about halfway through. Before you know it, we'll be we'll have the season completed. There, I guess it's 10 episodes, right?
Yeah, 10 episodes.
Yeah, so we're halfway through.
Yeah, we are on Mighty Ducks Game Changers, episode 5, called Cherry Picker. So we start off at the Ice Palace. It is the Don't Bothers practice, and they are running a drill play called the Double Helix, when all of a sudden Evan's dad comes out of nowhere.
Just comes out completely out of nowhere, out of the blue. Doesn't give a warning or whatsoever.
Yeah, complete douche. They couldn't have made it more obvious. He does the Evan Morrow. He does the big the intro, yeah. But they really went over the top. That he's this in and out. He's been out of Evan's life. Musician type, a real douche, man.
Yeah, obvious DB is obvious.
Yeah. So Evan's dad is back for a gig at a bar, and he uses that time to catch up with his son. And Alex is a little distraught that Evan's dad is back in the mix. But we'll see how it goes. Their relationship, between Evan and his dad, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Even though I ran him down, Evan loves him, and he's thrilled by him, and he wants to, he's thrilled that he comes in and he wants to hang with him, definitely. So Evan obviously doesn't think he's a douche, but
yeah. So Evan tries to convince his mom, "Oh, can I go see Dad's gig with him?" And Alex goes, "I don't want to go." So then Gordon volunteers to take Evan to the gig.
It's at Tito's bar. Is it? Do you think Tito Santana owns it? Or?
That'd be awesome if Tito Santana had his own chain of bars.
He was. It's in Minnesota. Tito was in the AWA.
Yeah, I wonder if Tito made good chicken wings.
Arriba, definitely hot. Or the a lot of guacamole.
Yeah. So then, on a side note, Lauren and Myra, they're forming their own friendship, and they do a TikTok video, which I thought was fun. That they're giving the character development of the different characters, and we're getting to see them, form a bond and relationship.
Yeah, the cool New York chick and the weird girl bonding, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, it's called being a Middle Earth person or something like that, Cosplayer, yes, that's it. Cosplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. This week we did celebrate Earth Day. This week, Grooney, what'd you do to celebrate Earth Day, Grooney?
Oh, I planted loads of trees,
Oh, okay. I thought you fell on your face. You fell on your
Earth. I didn't know the Earth was flat. So then Gordon goes. So then Gordon and Evan are preparing this journey to the bar, and Gordon has this rickety old truck where he goes, the door's broken. You have to come in through the driver's side.
Yeah, because that's totally not going to come back into play later.
Yeah, I know. And then he's like, "Well, do you like music?" Goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I don't really have a lot of music except for the old time rock and roll over here."
I guess Gordon can't afford an iPod on eBay for like $50.
I feel like Jan also gave him that truck. I'm not sure, but that sounds like a Jan product. He was like, "Gordon, I give you the ice palace, and I also give you my truck too." So Jay, what did you think of the bonding, of Gordon and Evan?
Oh, that was nice of him to step up and take him to see his dad and just to step in for because Alex couldn't do it. So it was.
Yeah, also I forgot that Gordon does invite Alex to a Minnesota Wild game. He says that it's just for studying of the game of hockey.
Yeah, it's not a date or anything, sure.
It's
Yeah.
totally not a date.
Totally not, right? Yeah. So then they're at the bar. Evan's dad plays his gig, and then they get into a wing challenge between Gordon and Evan's dad. And what was it like? They ate 42 to like 44 wings apiece.
Yeah. This was some wing eating contest.
Yeah, I tried to get to at least 30, and it didn't end up well. What's your max of wings, Greg?
I'm not really a wing guy. If it's mozzarella sticks, then that's another story.
Johnny, what's yours?
I never had a contest, but I've pounded down quite a number. So
Yeah,
I lost count. Yeah.
My max is 25, like tops. I tried 30 once, like I said, just it didn't come out well. So then Alex has literally been calling Evan's phone, and she's mad because Evan was supposed to be home by like 9 o'clock, and it's midnight. So Gordon's in trouble, and Evan's dad is kind of in trouble, but not really because, he really doesn't have a relationship. So it's really Gordon who's like, "Oh, man, I'm really biting the big one on this."
Yeah, he's really boned right here.
Yep. So then Gordon goes to Evan's dad. He goes, "How do I get out of this?" And he goes, "Oh, just buy her a stuffed animal. It will work."
Spoiler, it's not going to work.
So the next day at school, all the kids are eating lunch, and Lauren realizes that Myra did not post the TikTok video of them on TikTok. She kept it hidden. So when Lauren goes to confront Myra, she's like, "Listen, I like you, but at the same time, I'm embarrassed to be seen with you." And we see that the other way too. Like, Lauren doesn't know how to be normal, and in Lauren's terms, Myra doesn't know how to be elf and be a cosplayer.
Yeah, so both are scared to wonder, well, how will our respective cliques think of each other if we're seen together?
Yeah. Which all kids go through that, it's like, well, we can only hang out through these times, and we can't hang out like during with my regular friends. And it's sad. It's like, that kids still feel that way, that certain people can't be a part of the normal group, even though they're just trying to be normal at the same time. What do you think, John?
Yeah, this is a cookie cutter Disney high school interpretation, basically where she's the cool New York chick is embarrassed by the the nerdy cosplayer, and it doesn't really break much ground. It's stuff we've seen before in 80s, 90s movies.
Yep. So then Gordon gives the
The
gift.
stuffed animal.
Yeah,
the unicorn. the unicorn.
Yeah, so she gives a unicorn to Alex. Alex catches on right away, and she's talking to Winnie, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, like, what is he doing?" And Winnie goes, "What do you mean? This is exactly what my ex-husband does. Like, what he would do when we would get into a fight. He would just buy me a stuffed animal, and he would think that everything was just okay, and it's not." So then Alex goes to Gordon and says, "Listen, this date is off, because, like, I don't want to go out with you," because, Alex knows that what Gordon tried to pull.
So do you guys think that douche Rob knew that, and he kind of set Gordon up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also at the same time, Alex is still worried because, Evan's dad said, "Oh yeah, I'll be at the game."
Sure he will.
Yeah, I'll be at the game, and you can count on me. So then when Evan and Alex are in Evan's bedroom, like as he's like saying goodnight, Alex goes, "Don't be disappointed if your dad isn't there." And Evan's like, "Can I just be happy that like he's back and like hope that he's there?" So like Alex is really trying to protect Evan from like heartbreak because Evan really wants his dad to see him play hockey. Yeah, so we know where Evan really stands, that he wants to form a relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
So then Gordon goes out to the bar actually with Evan. Oh, well, first we should address also that at the bus stop, Myra goes over to Lauren, like we said, and Lauren is embarrassed to be around Myra in front of her cosplaying friends as well. So it goes both ways, like we said.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy these side development these side development stories. It started off with Nick and then, with Coop, and now they're really getting into the some of the main characters more.
Yeah, we're slowly getting to know a little bit more about them as the series progresses on.
Yeah. So Gordon and Rob, Evan's dad, they go out and, Evan's dad gets a phone call. "Oh, hey, I have a gig up in Madison."
Oh, this could be my big break. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you're like 40 years old. I don't think your big break's going to come.
Yeah, he's playing bars in Minnesota in front of like 15 people, and this is his big break. Yeah.
Yeah, so then, Gordon goes, "Well, yeah, but that Don't Bothers game is about to start."
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, I'm not.
Gordon, I'm not going to the game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother to go to the game. Yeah.
I'm not going to
not
bother
going
to see
Not
the
gonna
Don't Bothers.
Don't Bothers. Yeah. So Gordon goes, "All right, I'll take you to the airport." And so we see, that the Don't Bothers, they're getting ready to play the Cardinals. Now, the announcer friend, Nick and his friend in the first episode, they used to do that podcast, on Ducks practices. So she's back doing the broadcasting. She says that the the Don't Bothers are 0-5. So even though we've only seen them play 2 games, they hurried the season along. So the Don't Bothers are now 0-5, and they're playing the Hawks,
The second
which
worst
are the
team in the
second
league.
worst team. I mean, I guess ever since Coach Riley retired, the Hawks regime downhill.
Yeah, Jack Riley's spitting in his grave over what the team has become.
Hey, Hawks, what happened? Well, Lane Smith kicked the bucket, so we stink now.
They turned into a bunch of cake eaters.
Yeah. Yeah, so then, Gordon is driving into the airport. And he's like, yeah, you just turn up here. Gordon keeps on going straight. And he's like, oh, we missed the turn. We can turn here. Gordon just keeps on driving straight. And, Rob goes, Gordon, why are you doing this? Like, just take me to the airport. It's like the typical dad thing, like, why do you care so much? Like, and Gordon goes back to, his days as being a hockey player where he didn't care how he did, because he always saw that his dad was cheering for him. And, everything kind of crumbled when Gordon's dad passed away.
And he missed the penalty shot.
Yeah, that really nightmarish penalty shot. Like, it is that serious when it gets replayed in his head like 3 times. Flashback number 1, flashback number 2, and flashback number 3. Yeah, it
was a terrible nightmare, almost as terrible as the nightmare at the Rosemont Horizon, WrestleMania 2 for the Dream.
Oh, jeez. The nightmare for Johnny B.
Oh, man.
Gorilla mentioned it on Wrestling Challenge for 56 weeks in a row after that.
So Evan at the hockey arena, Evan looks up in the stands and his dad is not there at first. So Evan gets a penalty right before the puck drops. So he's in the box for 2 minutes, and then the Don't Bothers are down 3-0 to the Hawks.
4, yeah.
4 actually, yeah.
Yeah, Evan just cross-checks the guy, right? Like
yeah,
1 second
right
in,
before the puck drops.
So.
Yep.
That must be a record.
Yeah, I had a Gordon moment. Well, not like really a Gordon moment, but like, my dad actually like passed away like when I was young too. So, he missed out on like all my like great moments. And like I had like one of those like, oh, I made like a really good game-saving catch, and I kept their team up, by like not missing the ball. Didn't take my eye off the ball, made a catch, so it felt good, like when like like you're the hero of the big game.
Well, as I've established many times on my other podcast, my dad doesn't care at all for sports, so he couldn't care less what I did in a little league game. I've said this before on my podcast many times, but my dad's dream is he wants to have a moat in City Field for synchronized swimming in the off season. I'm dead serious.
Oh. What about you, Johnny? Did like?
Nah, he was not so much. No, he didn't like going to the games and all that shit and dealing with the parents. Nah.
I don't blame him.
You get those that that you want to do but they don't like, and then you get the parents who are just really encouraging and can be a little bit too encouraging. But that's the way of the sports life,
Yeah, it is what it is.
So then Evan's dad finally arrives at the game, and this is what motivates Evan. Although Evan's dad was dragged, he's really like you said, he's kidnapped. This is kidnapping. He's being forced against his will to go to the game, even though he doesn't want to. Like, dude, you're really being like a douche father.
Yeah, but like Greg said, Rob tried to get out the truck, but he couldn't because the door doesn't open. What foreshadowing? That Disney clever foreshadowing from the opening scene. Wow.
Yeah. So Evan gets motivated, to do well at hockey. So the score is tied 4-4, and Alex calls timeout. There's there was 20 seconds left in the clock. Alex calls timeout. She says, let's do the double helix. And Lauren and Myra are like, we don't want to do it. Like, I don't like you and I don't like me. And then here comes, I'm going to say it, babyface Nick, with his babyface cute little speech. Listen, you two need to put your problems aside and deal with it off of the ice. This is for Evan's dad, who Evan has not seen for about 6 years. Now, we want to make a happy moment for Evan. Let's do it right now. And then so they agree that it's the right thing to do. And they pull it off, and Evan scores the game-winning goal, and the Don't Bothers have their first win.
Yeah, Nick's the best, but I was a little disappointed that for such a great comeback to come down from 4-0 with like 3 or 4 minutes left. There was like a tepid celebration. They were like, "Yay!" Like mild clapping. They should have been going wild.
I think they want
Evan's dad and Gordon. It was a tempered celebration.
Well, to be fair, it was against the Hawks.
Yeah, but that's their first win. To come down from 4-0 with like a few minutes left and to get your first win, you figured they would have been going wild. But,
well, I think the team was going. I think the team was going wild, and it felt good that the team got their first win for the kids. And we'll see what happens. So it's after the game, and Rob is on his phone. He goes, "No, I missed my plane. I got dragged to my kid's hockey game." So Alex knows that Gordon forced Evan's dad to go to the game, and she says, "Thank you." For at least making Evan happy when Alex is not unhappy with Evan's dad.
Yeah.
And so instead of Alex going to the Wild game, Gordon wants to take Evan to the Wild game as a celebratory victory. So we're seeing the bonding, of Evan and Gordon, just like sort of what Charlie and Gordon had.
Yeah, that was a good move by Gordon.
Yeah, it was. So in the cafeteria the next day, Myra dresses up as a cosplayer, and Lauren dresses up like a normal person. And they both agree that they agree that while they don't like being in the other person's shoes, they can tolerate it, and they can be seen in public together without being embarrassed.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very touching moment.
Yeah, it was a very nice scene.
Yeah. I don't think Jay really likes this sissy friendship, these sissy friendship moments.
Yeah, a little too tidy, a little too typical Disney, how it all wraps up and with the happy ending, but it's okay.
Well,
as long as I get some of Nick, he always saves the episodes.
Yeah. So just before, the episode wraps up, one of the Duck players, Trevor, who we met in, I believe it was episode 3, he comes into the pizza place and he's giving Evan a hard time. Evan says, "All right, come on, Trevor, just let me have it, man, but we won." And Trevor's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to give you any crud today. Coach T wants to see you again." So, that's like our gasp moment, like, what's going to happen on the next episode? And while me and Jay did preview the next episode, we're not going to give anything away.
Yeah, but I just want to comment. What kind of league is this where you could just the Ducks could just take the best player from the worst team that just won their first game? That there's like free agency or there's trade? I mean, what kind of league is this?
Yeah, I guess you just jump from one team to another. It's like, oh well, I don't like the WWF, so I'm just going to jump to the
these kids don't have contracts. They don't have guaranteed contracts. Or
Well, it's like,
what happened to the
yeah,
90-day no compete clause?
Yeah, 90-day no compete in Minnesota Pee Wee hockey.
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's like jumping ship to the alliance. Well, WWF stinks.
I called it the first minute. Coach T, man, what a friggin' douche, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we kind of know like what he's getting at, and if you saw the preview, it was what it was. But it's a goodie for next episode, if you watch the preview, So it's the episode I think that Mighty Duck loyalist fans really want, and they're gonna get, in this next episode. Overall, guys, what did you think of the Don't Bothers getting their first win?
It was okay, but I like I said, I just wish it was more of a celebration there. I want to see like pouring milk on each other or something like that. Throw some Gatorade on Alex, get that shirt a little wet or something.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, the first win's out of the way, so we got that all settled. But yeah, we got a good cliffhanger going into episode 6, so we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see the storyline with Evan going to that wild game.
Also a little disappointed with Evan that he was like, "Oh, Coach T wants me back."
I know.
He should say, "Coach T, go pound it, man. I'm gonna lead this friggin' Don't Bothers to beat your ass."
He's so gullible to actually want to meet, be interested in meeting back with the coach that cut him.
Yeah.
From Pee Wee hockey,
and now all of a sudden, because he scores 5 goals in a game, Coach T's like, "Oh yeah, I now want this guy."
I was surprised that it was all Evan, and nothing from Sophie,
Yeah, and also I want to see they kind of downplayed the kid Sam, the skateboard kid. I figured he'd go crashing, especially there's a lot of hitting. I figured he'd be going, crashing, leveling guys out and stuff like that. But maybe, we're only halfway through.
Yeah,
we'll get his back.
Logan is just playing with his hair,
Yeah, and I want to see Koob make a couple saves instead of they pretty much just show him sitting there like a lump and letting goals in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I was a little disappointed. They made it like it was all Evan, like he's supposed to be leading, making the other guys better and stuff. So we'll see. Yeah, and the girls,
Yeah, I will say
we're not going to talk about the preview. No spoilers.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Greg. All right.
When Trevor did say, "Oh, Coach T wants to see you," I kind of gasped. Was like, oh, "What's gonna happen next?" It felt like one of those soap opera, "Oh my goodness," one of those soap opera moments. What's gonna happen now?
Or the dramatic music. The organ playing.
Oh, Coach T wants to see me again. You can tell Coach T to stick it, Evan. Well, guys, before we wrap things up, Greg, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Well, it was a thing on TV. We got new episodes, of course, every Wednesday. 2 episodes every Wednesday with me, Mike, and Chico. And speaking of me and Chico, we just recorded right before we did this episode, the second episode of Into the Spidey Movieverse on Spider-Man 2. So I'm going to be working hard on editing that, getting it out real soon. It's a very fun podcast we did, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. So.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, Into the Spidey Universe is a very good podcast. I listen to it. You guys do a really great job.
Well, thank you.
Johnny, what do you have to say?
We released 2 hot ones this week. We finished out on the Year in Pop. We finished out the 80s, 1989, with Andy the Boss and Scott the Podfather and Dr. G. And we did an epic 1992 Vintage Vault, the show that started it all on the Place to Be with Justin and Scott, the two bosses. An epic 1992 Royal Rumble Vintage Vault. So check that one out.
The best Royal Rumble match and the worst Royal Rumble match all in one show.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, nobody pays attention to the undercard, like I said. We didn't spend too much time on Bushwhackers and Beverly's and fucking Jameson.
Oh, my goodness. I was laughing so hard over Jameson.
I did.
I was not laughing hard at all.
Here in Pop, 1989 was a good one. A lot of talk about The Simpsons and, everything else that happened. I can't wait till you guys get into the 90s, so I can just ramble on about Nickelodeon.
Gonna be a lot of Scott talking about 90210.
Yeah, I'm just going to take over Andy's podcast and make it my own. The Year in Pop according to Grooney. Well, I can be found on also the Place to Be Wrestling Network. I have a podcast along with Michael Cook called Extreme Resurrection. Our latest episode just dropped, the debut of CM Punk and the return of Rob Van Dam. We're going to record tomorrow, Sunday, our next episode of Extreme Resurrection, which will drop in May. This one is going to pertain to the release of Kurt Angle and the number one contenders match between Rob Van Dam and Sabu to see who goes and fights the Big Show at SummerSlam 2006. So we're on the courts of SummerSlam, and Kurt Angle's career is ending in WWE for 10 years. He comes back in 2016. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. Well, from Pop Goes to the Couch, I'm James Gruenberg alongside Greg Diener and John Arsenio D'Amato, and we will see you next time.